Now, Patanjali has been in focus, and this is on the back of this new GST reform, of course. And today we are going to speak to the management as well to understand as to how this big move by the government is set to boost the consumption and how this will benefit the company. We're joined by Sanjeev Asthana, the CEO of Patanjali Foods, joining us now. Mr. Asthana, thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking with us. My first question to you is your first reaction as an FMCG player. What do you think of the immediate impact on consumption and demand that you'll be seeing, both in terms of the GST deduction, plus this will also lead to more money in the hands of a user? How will that boost up demand?
No, so this is obviously a very landmark development, and it had twin objectives. One is to immediately spur the consumption boom in the country. And as you do know that, the GST tariffs have come down substantially. And this would enable, the middle classes, the common person, and in general, the entire consuming class to have more affordable products, to increase their consumption, and basically putting more money in their pockets to consume more. The second immediate impact I see is that the festival season is around the corner. For next couple of months, we'll see series of festivals which normally are seen as high demand seasons. And there, my expectation is that this will be extremely supportive, not only for the consumers, but also for companies engaged in the FMCG businesses that would be able to increase their production, which in turn would spur, the overall production, this whole Atmanirbharta campaign, etc. So it's a very holistic and a good development, which the this GST changes would bring about.
Got it. And Mr. Asthana, I just want to understand, because the kind of exposure that a lot of FMCG companies have to these products is very high as a percentage of their overall portfolio. Just want to understand from a Patanjali perspective as to what percentage of your portfolio will see a positive impact because of this GST cut.
So portfolio-wise, almost 30% plus of our portfolio in revenue terms, which is quite substantial. It's nearly 12,000 crores, which will see a immediate drop almost for 95% of the products from 18% to 5%. And so that's a significant boost, to the company's demand profile and the changes that we're anticipating in the ensuing festival season also, that which will increase the demand for our products.
Okay, and in terms of the growth expectations, what is the kind of trajectory that you're expecting in the key segments? Because last when I was speaking to a retailer, which is present, of course, in the consumer durable space, they said that this GST move could actually benefit them in a big way and probably give a growth of around 20% odd. In your sense, what is the growth trajectory looking like right now?
So we had, stated earlier in our regular sort of plan that itself we had. We were seeing growth rate of 8 to 10% in the foods segment. We are seeing at growth rate of 15% in the HPC business, and we are looking at 3 to 4% growth in the edible oil segment. We believe that at least 10% additional growth we should very clearly target for with this change. So which means that typically anywhere between 18 to 20% in foods, almost close to about anywhere between 22 and 25% growth in the HPC. And that should be pretty much par for course for Patanjali to target, and which is what the teams are working on right now, that we'd be able to push that much of growth in our businesses.
Understood. And given the prior commentary on rising raw material prices affecting margins, particularly for the wheat and palm oil space, how does the GST rate reduction help balance these input cost pressures?
So input cost pressures per se may not necessarily change, because a lot of them, the input side changes to a large extent, haven't been instituted. But I do see, if we go into the detailed fine print as to implementation by the third week September, that we should have some drop down on the input cost. But more important is that the profitability while we propose to transfer the full benefit to the consumers of this change in the GST, but our estimation is with the increased demand, our overall fixed cost structure, multiple cost allocations that we have, the input cost, wherever the benefits on account of GST is there, I think we should see a increased sort of momentum towards better profitability, and that should add certainly to the bottom line of the company's performance with these changes.
Understood. And considering the old GST rates and the resolution to the old GST case basis, how are you seeing the new regime, and how will that help you with regards to where even your input tax credit structure is concerned?
No, so there's nothing, no link, between the sort of, the case that you mentioned, because there's absolutely zero linkage between what the GST announcements have been otherwise. So in any case, the GST cases have all been settled also, and we had a very clear order where all of that has been settled. And there was interpretation challenge, which was there between the department and the company, which has been resolved right now. And so we are absolutely have a clean slate where the GST matters are concerned. And in any case, this announcement of change which is there would have nothing to do really with what is our business plan or otherwise going forward.
Got it. Got it. With regards to the, India rationalizing GST from 4 slabs to 2 slabs now, which is 5% and 18%, and cutting consumption tax on hundreds of products, and that includes those in Patanjali's portfolio as well. How quickly does Patanjali Foods plan to pass on these savings to the consumers?
No, so pretty much, as I mentioned earlier, that we propose to transfer the entire savings to the consumers. So there's no intent of the tax benefit, being retained by the company, and that's a very stated intent we've always had. The benefit that accrues to the company straight away, what I mentioned about the bottom line, that comes with the increased volumes. The economies of scale tends to drive that. And when you look at the overall cost structure, the company, the fixed costs, they get divided over a much larger revenue base with the growth in the sales that we are anticipating. And that itself will lead to the profits enhancement that we are anticipating. And with the more volume, our ability to buy more economically, our raw material purchases, also in terms of the economics of production, the fixed cost, spread over much larger revenue volumes. So these are all the factors that tend to typically affect, the company's bottom line, and that we are very confident that it will certainly accrue with the increased business that we are anticipating. This reduction in tax will bring about.
Okay, understood. In terms of the impact of US tariffs, any particular impact that you are seeing on Patanjali per se?
No, so the dynamics are very clear. I mean, we have exports to the US, and typically these are, very high value products that we supply to the US. So they will get impacted, by the tariffs to that extent. But the benefit which Patanjali has to all the products that you mentioned, our Ayurvedic products, for example, our range of, health sort of products that we have, and natural and organic, etc. So typically they have very dedicated, sort of consumer base and very established line of customers who've been dedicated for long years. So to be honest, I think, once we see I don't anticipate that there will be much of an impact for our sales to the US. And in terms of either volumes or otherwise, if at all, the impact might be very, very marginal, because in the overall scheme of things, our exports to the US in a 34,000 crore portfolio that we have would be very extremely marginal. So it would not even be a fraction of cost for us to have a big impact. But yes, I mean, certainly if the costs go up, it does impact the consumers, in the US, as well as, our ability to service them at economical cost. Yes, it will have an impact, but very marginal to the bottom line or the top line of the company.
Understood. Mr. Asthana, anything that you would want to add from demand perspective or any other perspective with regards to this GST 2.0?
But no, so I think our point is, very significant changes have been instituted. One is clearly in the income tax relief that was provided in the budget, which was presented earlier. The GST 2.0, as it is being touted, and the changes that have brought about. And this whole campaign of supporting the domestic production which the government has undertaken with additional sort of momentum post the sort of tariff challenge. So my sense is that I think it's a very positive move for the consumers, for the middle class. The urban demand, which was seeing pretty significant stress for several quarters, I anticipate that this will sort of start looking better. The rural demand will certainly come back because of the back of very good monsoons, and I think that's positive. And last but not the least, I think is the companies, whether large or smaller or mid-sized companies, this relief on the GST side given to the consumers, I think will have a huge sort of impact in the demand getting accelerated, and that should benefit the overall sort of economic momentum that is being planned by the government. And I'm feeling very positive about this move overall, both and pretty integrated manner. So it's not benefiting one segment, but across the board it is going to benefit all the stakeholders in this process.
Understood, Mr. Asthana. Thank you so much for giving us that perspective and that voice for the entire consumption space. And thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking with us at NDTV Profit.